Hello gang, I am here today with Bruce. Bruce, as we call it now, is a monopod with a GoPro on. What I use this for now, I still shoot in HD, I'm not shooting 4K. So this little camera here makes an okay B-roll. I mean, I prefer to use a bigger camera, and I probably am going to start using that little Canon that we took downtown to get our stock footage. But for right now, this is a convenient little thing. It does often require some cropping because this is an old Hero 2. If you don't have a screen in the back, like I don't, it's difficult to compose shots and know what you're getting. But we call him Bruce because in X-24, which we just shot, we used him kind of like the shark perspective in Jaws. What I did was we flip him this way. Gives me two hands on him, and we moved him around like the creature in the movie. X-24, right? We could bring him right towards you real easy. You get a pretty smooth slide if you practice with it a bit. You can get him real close to the floor very easily. If you switch it this way, you can get it down there, and then you'll just have to flip your footage over. This has got a tripod head attachment, which means it's also flexible on itself. And here's the thing, this monopod is, I believe I've had this for almost 20 years. So it was like a $30 or $40 investment 20 years ago. Used it on some trips. It's been in the box a lot of the time. I do use it on a lot of shoots for backup stuff. We used it for a tracking shot in that where I could have probably kept it fairly steady, but instead we kind of swooped it around like this. And it's just, with this camera on here, it's so light that your balance is pretty easy. You know, it's just moving your arm. You just got to take a few shots at it. Recently, for the holiday diet movie that we're shooting, I left it like this, and I extended. You can actually see a picture of that of me doing it on my Facebook page, my personal one. So I gripped it here behind the thing here. I extended it all the way, and we just slid it out over the table. We were trying to show a feast of food, and we just kind of brought the camera back, you know, and it makes for an interesting angle. And so these little GoPros and the monopod, you might even be able to get yourself a selfie stick and use your phone camera to do it. Gives you a lot of choices in angle without having to have a lot of equipment. You can see here what I mentioned that it was 20 years old. There's some duct tape here. I think you guys could probably notice it by now. The grippy part on here, the little plastic waffling, I attached my big Canon Mark II to it and really tightened it down with my handy-dandy dime that was in the other video. And I just cracked all that dried out old plastic there. And I was trying to find the rubber you use to keep cell phones from sliding around in your car. And while I was looking for it, I did find they do make this plate. They still sell the plate. The plate's $30. And as I mentioned, I paid about $30 or $40 for this 20 years ago. I'm not sure I wanted to pay $30 to fix it. So since the lightest camera that goes on here right now, you know, the camera that goes on here right now is this, and the next one up is only a little bit bigger, I decided to try the duct tape out. And as you can see, it's pretty, you know, if it hits something, it's going to move around, but it stays on there pretty solid. Otherwise, then you can shake it around. It's not changing direction on me or anything. So that may work. This is a little slick, so I'm probably going to rubberize it after this. But for now, he's ready to roll. Also, monopod or selfie stick, anything with the tripod head on here that's fairly steady. You saw what I was doing there, right? Not the optimal weight, but with a shock mount on here that they sell for like $20. Shock mounts that go on tripod heads, which is what we currently use a lot of the time, but we don't have the best sound, I admit that. When you do have someone to hold a boom, this will make a nice boom in a pinch. So if you don't have a boom of your own, you can use it for this. Also, you give it a little bit of a cradle down, right? You extend it all the way, and now you can do some very basic crane shots, right? Or if you put it out there over your crowd like this, you put it over your character, so your character's laying on the ground, you can do a really basic lift up there. Practice with it, see what it looks like in there. Again, since you're working without a monitor, this one actually has the, it does have the little wireless pack. So if you get a wireless pack and get your phone hooked up right, this will make a great little device for you being able to look over there or you're shooting things over here and kind of see what kind of high angles you're getting. So nice little replacement for like a drone or dolly, tracking shots, things like that. And the nice thing about these little cameras, because they're so tiny and light, like, say something where you would normally have a track, you can move this like this. And if you build yourself a little skateboard track that maybe isn't doing so well with your big camera on it, this little sucker here is not going to need a whole lot of, it's going to be easier to make things to stabilize this. It's not heavy, so it's going to want to move around, but it's also not going to put a lot of weight on a piece of wood with 4 wheels on it. So if you roll that around, and being action cams are used to shaking. So that's Bruce, our usually POV cam. You've seen the top part of Bruce in our Mustang B-roll videos. He's what shot those. You've seen footage from Bruce in Jack vs. Lanterns. You'll see it in X24 when we finally release that. We're trying to get that on the festival circuit, guys. And if you know any conventions or film festivals that want to show a movie non-competition, we'd be glad to let them show it. Especially if they'd be glad to let me or one of the actors, actually the only actor, unless you count Sudsy them off as an actor, come to their shows. We'd be very happy to talk about the movie and how we got the location, came about, writing a script in one night, and casting it and basing the entire script on the cast and props we already had on hand, because it was all just an impromptu, let's get this done kind of thing. So that's today. I have no idea what I'm talking about tomorrow. I was very proud of myself for remembering this and the dummy leg that we talked about yesterday. So again, the AVD videos, the Amazon Video Direct tutorial type of things, and our experiences with them have been the most popular videos. If you have any more questions on that subject, please let us know. If you need services for getting your movies up there, please let us know. And we're still waiting for a company we signed with to get some of our stuff up on their page, so I cannot talk to you yet about how well that's paying. All I can tell you so far is the process has been fairly slow. It's been like 2 or 3 months now. And our stuff was approved, it did pass muster and all that, but we haven't heard from them. And now with the holidays coming, I'm not very optimistic that we will hear from them before the new year. So, there you go. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.